Hi, and welcome to the first video in our 5-part series about Rules as Code. My name is Phillipa Martin, and I'm the Rules as Code lead at Salsa Digital, an open source digital innovation company based in Melbourne, Australia. Today, I'm here to talk to you about Rules as Code, or RAC for short, on behalf of GovCMS. GovCMS is a whole-of-government content management system and web hosting platform built by government for government. First of all, a quick introduction. My early background is based in content, and I have over 25 years experience in that field. I also have a legal studies background way back when, which I'm loving reviving in Rules as Code. I started in Rules as Code in January 2022, working on a large RAC project building a rules engine for New Zealand social security benefits. Since then, I've continued working in the Rules as Code space as a business analyst, analysing and mapping legislation and other rules while also focusing on user journeys. So what is Rules as Code? Simply put, Rules as Code is about taking legislation, rules and policies and turning them into code. Users can then easily interact with the rules via direct user experiences, such as a website or voice interaction. Alternatively, the rules can be integrated with multiple systems and websites via an API. So why Rules as Code? In government, Rules as Code can lead to better citizen interactions. Rules as Code implementations provide one source of truth that's easily accessible for citizens and customer service representatives. Importantly, RAC removes a barrier of dense legal jargon and makes legislation and rules easy to understand and easy for users to engage with. Of course, Rules as Code can be used in many industries to deliver benefits and make it easier for users to interact with rules. Rules as Code is also globally recognised as an area for transformative growth in government. In 2020, the Organisation for Economic Cooperation and Development released a paper, Cracking the Code, Rulemaking for Humans and Machines. In that paper, it says, by creating a machine-consumable version of government rules alongside the existing natural language form, governments may be able to drive better policy outcomes, increase efficiencies, and open up new avenues for innovation. The paper includes 6 principles for a successful Rules as Code approach: transparency, traceability, accountability, appropriateness and appealability, availability and interoperability, and security. In terms of use cases, there are many. On the slide in front of you, I've got a few thought provokers. In our longer Rules as Code video, we showcase some working examples from around the world. However, this slide gives you a taste of what's possible, including social welfare benefits, compliance checking, urban planning and developments, healthcare and public health policies, customs and internal trade, and pre-screening and lodgements. Maybe one of these use cases applies to you. One of the most powerful uses for Rules as Code is constructing policy twins. Ideally, while creating legislation, you also create a policy twin. While digital twins of cities help model urban planning, infrastructure changes, and so on, digital policy twins let citizens interact with rules quickly and easily, while also allowing government and policymakers the ability to experiment with policy changes and see how they'll affect government and citizens. In this case, they're modelling legislation and rules changes. Rules as Code for policy twins has the power to revolutionise the way we draft and implement policy. So who's using Rules as Code? This gives you a brief idea of who's using Rules as Code around the world at the moment. There are lots of real-world cases out there. Currently in Australia, GovCMS is rolling out its Rules as Code sandpit project, which allows GovCMS clients the ability to experiment with Rules as Code via a small proof of concept. To date, these sandpit use cases have looked at eligibility and calculations for severance pay, social security benefits, student visas, and also applying the federal budget process for investment proposals, to name a few. Will your government agency be next to benefit from the power of Rules as Code? I'd like to thank you for listening to this first video, and we hope to see you in our next video. Thank you.